I decided I was going to stream until I was blue in the face today, and that's what I've done. I stopped for a little while, and then I'll start right back up streaming again. So you're pretty much getting what I'm going through for this whole day, which hasn't been a whole lot because I still don't feel very good. I want to throw up. And if I could, I think I would feel a whole lot better, but I just can't make myself do it. I've tried, but I did eat some today. That was good. Um, anyway, uh, this it will not be like this in the bunker. There will not be people in the bunker if we go to a bunker that are gonna be putting stuff in my way. Not gonna happen. So if you want to be in the bunker, don't put shit in my way. I will get it out of my way, but you won't be in the bunker. Sad. You're just not gonna be able to make it. I would say I'm gonna miss you, but there's not a whole lot of people I miss nowadays. I lost mom and dad. And everybody else, man, y'all don't even come second. Let me tell you what. There's some good fives and sixes out there, but second to mom and dad, second to mom, you can forget that. Mm-mm. And if you knew dad, you know what I'm talking about. Dad, that was a smart man. Mom was smarter than him, though. And mom was much smarter than him. She was a freaking scientist, man. Anyway, so we're continuing to cut, clear, and clean the house one little area at a time. They all rolled over, and the little one said something. Roll over. So that's what we're doing here in the house. Um, I am working on finding out exactly what I need to do to get my hemp license, and so I can sell these medicinal herbs to people in such a way that will help them out, and they won't have to run around being stoned all the time. You know, they may choose to use this along with medical marijuana. They may choose to use this um, by itself. They may choose to use medical marijuana by itself. Or choose not to use any at all. You might choose a different way of programming of getting medicines for the different things that this is good for. Uh, Me myself, it's PTSD, um, it's anxiety, um, and it is the rapid cycling of the bipolar disorder that I do have, and the paranoia. Um, the the lack of the desire to get up and motivate and do things that I should be able to want to get up and do. Right now, I'm tacking that on with the lack of being able to breathe, and it's got me in a pretty big holding pattern. I am still getting things done. Uh, I'm getting some stuff done on um, mom's stuff for sure, because it's not something I have to pick up and do. I am getting some picking up and done stuff done too. Um, Although I do have some helpers for once in my life that I kind of trust, and I feel like they're trustworthy. Um, and I am knocking on wood. I'm praying every day about it. Um, and if there's a people that they say they are, then they are too. And then, that just puts us light years ahead of the demons, because we will not allow this house to become what it has become at this time. Once it is straightened out and organized, it will not ever go down that road again, no matter what, no matter who you think you are, no matter what. You're just not going to have that kind of power on me anymore. I have finished my investigation. I have talked to the judge. I have talked to the Lord. I've spoke to Jesus. Spoke to the preacher. Spoke to my therapist, my doctor, the whole 9 yards about every single thing I'm doing in my life to make it better and function as close to normal as a normal life could function, because I wasn't doing that before. My doctors and my healthcare team know exactly what medicines, what compounds, what herbs, everything that I put in my body, that could possibly change the way that I feel, or feel. That's my head, my body, and my limbs. Is it making me dizzy? Is it making me upset? Is it upsetting my stomach? Is it making my nose stopped up? Is it making my nose run? Is it making it hard for me to breathe? Is it making it easy for me to breathe? Am I getting a cramp? Am I hot? Am I cold? All the side effects. I've kept up with every single one of them. Is it making me paranoid? Is it making me too comfortable? Is it making me too relaxed? Is it taking me too far? Is it making me dizzy? Is it making me feel elated? Is it something that's going to create me problems later? Is it something that's just going to be something that the side effects are going to be something that I'm going to seek out? And if they are, then that's a question. It's a big question I have to make, and I have to take, and pull up some big girl panties and really do some hard thinking before I progress any further. But I continued. All right, I went through numerous psychotropic medications from the VA, from my primary care doctor, from Brentwood Medical Center. Tried doses, high doses, tried low doses. Tried them one at a time and tried them together, mixed, matched. And it was always the same thing kept coming out. It was the side effects that was causing me to stop taking these medications all these years. It wasn't, I felt better, and I no longer felt like I needed to take medications. That's never been the place. It's never been the fact. It's never been the action. All right? And it's really weird because I can't explain to you why all these years I couldn't figure that out. All right? Because it seems like I should have right away gone, when I was taking these, I was having real bad side effects. That's why I quit taking them. And because I'd say, well, I need to try these one more time. I don't know why they're not working. And every single time I should have said, It's the side effects, you dummy. It's the side effects. But I listened to everybody else in their cookie cutter approaches about things and decided that, it was just me, that I just wasn't doing one thing or another just right. You know, um, I didn't have the right higher power. Um, I didn't. I didn't treat somebody right. I didn't do something right. Whatever. But I look at y'all, and none of y'all got a higher power that I can see half of it all. And if you do, you don't got respect for them. Uh, and you ain't changed the way that you lived. You live in the same way. You're still hurting people the same way you hurt people before. You haven't given up anything uh, other than you're sober, you're clean, um, and you're very proud of it, and that's very good. Uh, and you should be, because that's a major accomplishment. And however you did it, through AA, NA, overeaters, over gamblers, news, it doesn't matter. However you got there, you just keep doing it. If it works, just keep marching. That's what I'm going to do. So I do microdosing now. I take the THCA and I degauss it. Degauss, degrade, debark, degrease. I heat it up to a certain temperature, and then I can extract the oil from the flower. I can take the oil and I can mix it in butter, and I can mix it in oil, or I can just make a live resin that I put on my food and in my food, so I can continue to take my my THC, since I'm getting these valves in my lungs. It's going to be no more inhaling anything at all. No THC vapes, no nicotine vapes, no cigarettes, no joints, no pipes, no hookahs, no thunder gun, set willy, pop boogles, Mary Jane spleefs, uh, fatties, big old good ones and good old fat ones. Ain't none of that gonna happen anymore. Uh, the big old good ones and the good old big ones, they will be missed. Not really. They won't be missed. We ain't even talking about the same thing. Thanks, Joe. Made my day again. All I do is just think about it. There you go. And we're right there with you, man. Let the good times roll. All right, so tomorrow we go see our doctor about our valves in our lungs. Tomorrow we contact the state of Louisiana, find out what we need to do to be fully licensed for hemp products in the state. Find out what we need to do to be able to bring them in, what inspectors needed to be to properly get everything inspected, and also the proper way to ship this back out, and find out what kind of location we need for storage. So tomorrow's going to be a very busy day, and it's amazing how things just spin and spin and spin and spin. You start off something one direction, and before you know it, you're completely facing the other way, but you're still looking down the hallway. And, it's still, the picture's right there looking at you, but you changed the whole way to get there. It was before it was I was going to build one thing for handicapped and disabled people and people that were in wheelchairs because it helped me out so much. And I got one almost done. And then I had a catastrophe in my house. And then I was hospitalized. And then I almost didn't recover. And then I did recover. And now I'm still recovering and I'm having a rough time. But I'm still marching. And, but now, instead of just building that one thing, I've decided I was going to build a whole catalog of things. I was going to get the whole catalog out there, so that you had, this is what I can do. This is what I do for people. Isn't this neat? Isn't this good? Isn't this great? You know, Black Betty's just a drop in the bucket. Black Betty's just a showpiece. You know, I mean, really, a power chair that will lift you 11 feet in the air. I am the crazy one-legged old man in a wheelchair, no doubt. You can Google that shit. Sun up, sun down, I'm there. So now we're gonna have our catalog. We're gonna get that one original item out. We may even retro it so it looks like it was gonna look when I was originally building it, because it was a good design. The way it works and functions is just astronomical. It fits anywhere, goes anywhere. You can put it anywhere you want in your house, inside or outside, and it'll function fully as a kitchen and kitchen assembly, turning any room basically into a handicapped suite to take care of somebody that is handicapped, disabled, elderly, smaller stature, or just having a rough time taking care of themselves with energy levels, and it's hard for them to get up and cover larger distances. It's for people that might not need the stimulation of a larger area. Could use the stimulation of a smaller area to help them get by and to function on a daily basis, to take care of themselves, to do things on their own. I can change the light bulb by myself now. Woohoo! Man, that is an awesome feat. To be able to get up there and put that camera in there like I did myself instead of having somebody else do it. Yeah, I've got a lot of cameras, and no, it's not because I'm paranoid anymore. I just think they're cool as shit. I'm in the house by myself, so I want to know. Sometimes I hear the dog moving in the kitchen. I can look at her and see what she's doing. Sometimes I can't find the dog anywhere in the house. That's because I've locked her out. And so I look around the house and I look around with the cameras, and then I know which way to go to get my doggie back, because she's usually just sitting out there in the front yard waiting on me. She loves me to death. And, but sometimes she gets locked out. And so I have to always be vigilant about getting her butt back in the house, because she's a sweetie. Okay. I did research the new laws, about the cannabis, and that was the 21-year-old and .05, or .05, something like that. And they have to be 21 years of age, before they can purchase it. And before that, they cannot purchase it. So, and I'm not going to be selling anything to anybody under the age of 21 to 25. I may even make mine 30 or 40 years old, or chronic. I actually think I'm going to stick with the chronic pain um, that, I mean, I'm not a doctor, um, but I can't have ethics and the whole 9 yards about me marketing what I'm marketing just because of the medical help that it does for me. Always we have to give a disclaimer with everything. All right, you may get different results. All right, because it's all going to be up to human error and how you manage your medicine to the amount of therapy you will get from it. If you haphazardly manage your medicine, and by the end of the month, if you're taking pills or whatever, if at the end of the month uh, you're a handful short, then somewhere in the month you took a handful too many. Um, I used to have a hell of a time with someone one time for quite some time. She would take an extra pill. If I take an extra 10 pills today, that's 10 days I can take one less for the month. Well, the next day, it'd be, well, if I take 10 pills today, then it's 10 more days that I have to take one pill less a month. And she'd start off, but I'm talking about 6 or 7 pills from the doctor. And then, so before the first week would be over, um, that full jumbo script would be empty, and I'd feel bad and let her have part of mine and beg, borrow, and steal, and ask mom, hey, I mean that's I'm not pointing the finger at. I'm not pointing. I've done the same thing, you know. I uh, I would take all my medicine, and then I would borrow medicine from mom, and I would tell mom that I paid her medicine back, and I wouldn't, And all I was doing was getting my mom to break the law. Didn't really even realize I was doing that. Uh, it's not that I didn't realize it. It's just that in my adult state of mind, I just didn't see that it mattered that I was doing that. I just didn't see that mattered. And so today I know all that matters. And today I know I've been forgiven for that. Today I know that I want to teach other people to be aware of those issues that they're not aware of, that they're doing things that, you know, fire bad. You can get burned. Um, be aware. I had a lady in church one time, and she had some strong medicine, and she came up and asked me. She said, "Well, Pat," she said, "can't I do something with this? Somebody might need this or can use this medicine." And my drug addict mind and everything else, I told her, I said, "I don't know. Let me think about it, and I'll get back with you." And because my mind was trying to figure out a way to get in the middle of that somehow, if it was legal, why not be in the middle of that? And so luckily, I did say the things that my drug addict mind wanted me to say, and that was, let me think about this, because I was wanting to make a plan. But instead of making a plan, my recovery mind crept in and it said, "Pat, you can't do that. You need to be honest and open with yourself and everybody else. and that's something that's a no-no. Um, you know, you are passing out someone else's uh, test, or you're turning in somebody else's test papers or something. I don't know. It's you're using something else that's not yours. It's not for you. Um, it's it's made from the state to go to someone else. That is the main thing. It is state controlled to go to another individual altogether. And state or federal controlled anything needs to go exactly where it is designed to go, because we don't need big government, but we need to follow the government we have, no matter how big it is. Uh, the only way to shrink it is to participate in it and to follow the rules. Um, I'm a big believer in that. I'm a big believer in paying attention. I'm a big believer in scientific principles, in doing things over and over and over if they work. Uh, I'm a big believer in ugly people need friends too. Goofy people need friends too. Crazy people need friends too. You evil people have so many friends, I don't understand it, but you do. And I'm glad I'm not participating in that anymore. You know, I don't know, I got by with a lot of stuff for a lot of years because mom taught me right, and she taught me to listen to my stomach and listen to my gut. You know, and if it didn't feel like it was the right thing to do, that maybe it just wasn't. You know, that God knew, and I knew God, and I knew what God wanted. And if I wasn't living that way, then I needed to question it. And even if I didn't make a change, that I just questioned it. And so I started doing that. And lo and behold, things started getting better. You know, that's with people, places, and things as well. You know, I started questioning the people that I was letting in my house. You know, especially when I would let somebody in my house, and every time that they'd leave out, it would be something more difficult uh, for me to have to deal with than the initial issue I had them in my house with to start with. It's kind of like the side effects on the medicine. I didn't quit letting you in the house because you were doing things right. I didn't quit taking these medicines because I was cured. It's the side effects that come back and bite me every single time. And that's the side effects that are so hard to identify where they're coming from, and is it a side effect or a flaw or an accident? You know, did they accidentally spill oil all over my floor, all right, and made it slippery and forgot to clean it up, you know, and did the next person just come around and slam the back of their head, and that was the consequences of all the actions and the things that didn't happen, you know, and that's what I don't want. Okay, so did you do it accidentally? All right, now then. So the next time it happens, is that an accident too? And the next time, and what is this love I hear? Well, you know, I love you. I'm here for you. Whatever you need, you know you can count on me. I'll never lie. You know me, I never lie. The biggest way to get under my skin is to come at me and say, when I ask you about something, when you come back at me and say, that's the way you told me. Because I do forget a whole lot of things. But there's certain things that I never say. I never say. I, I, I never say, just put it in my way. I'll never tell you to put it in my way. No matter how I tell you to do something, I'll never say, make sure you put that in my way. I always may say, make sure I have 4 feet of space. I walk through there with my arm, or roll through an area with my arms out, and I let people know this is how much room I need. All right. And this is how high I can reach. And this is how far in I can reach over something. And now I can get to everything. And now I can get to the end of the path. And I can go to the beginning. And I can pick up the stuff on the side. And I can work with the things that are in and around me. All right. That person can stay in the bunker. The people that made it where I had to do something 3 or 4 times, put something in my way over and over and over. Acted like you didn't understand something when I know you really did. Refused to call me back. All right, not answering phone call. Blowing them off. You know, that just code silent. You know, there's no need to go code silent. There's no need to try to get out of something you should have just said no to start with. You don't have to say you're going to be there for somebody. It really doesn't help anybody. All it does is have somebody waiting for you to get there, and they're not figuring out another way to get it done without you. And if it's your plan to make it more difficult on somebody, just keep doing that. There's a special place in hell, and you're guaranteed a slot. If that's really where you want to go. You may not believe that. You know, you may not believe in heaven and hell. I'm still conflicted with some of the Jews because I have a whole bunch of Jewish friends, man. I was friends with the rabbi and his wife, you know, for a number of years. Super people, lots and lots of fun. You know, very, very, very strict beliefs in what they believed in, and some of the other high-profile Jews that I dealt with, Jewish people. I'm not going to say any names, but used to laugh and joke about ham sandwiches and what have you, and all kinds of stuff. Then he has, "What you eating, Bat? Ham sandwich? Don't you want one?" You know, but I took care of the synagogue for a long time. I took care of banks, man. I had bankers that let me walk into the bank, go in the vault, and tinker with stuff in the vault because they were having issues in the vault. I was trusted. When I worked at one of the store I worked at, you know, I was able to just go in and out of the pharmacy. No problem. They trusted me. I didn't go in there and steal pills. Didn't go in there and look at pills. Didn't go in there and handle pills. Didn't go in there and move pills. I went in there and did what I was supposed to do. Paid attention to what I was doing, and I was there for the present, and everything worked out just fine. It wasn't until it stopped working that it all went bad. You know, it wasn't until it was over that it was done. You know, I worked for multi-millionaires, that were in the oil business. Um, and then here a while back, his wife was dying, and people just literally didn't want me to go see her, and I really wanted to go see her, and it breaks my heart that I didn't. Um, and I have other friends. I still call them friends and their family that I did work for. Some of them got to see some of my good work. You know, some of them got to see some of the stuff I did right before I didn't. And then when I didn't, it was just done. I didn't do anything else. Nothing else came out right. Didn't matter what I do. Didn't matter what I did. The people around me that were attached to me were making sure that I was more uh, in need on a daily basis than I was the day before. Um, it was a spiraling failure of all spiraling failures to be duplicated numerous times over in the preceding years and months with wives and friends and families and jobs. And thinking every single time that I was stopping my medication because I thought I was healed. You know, I never thought I was healed. I was tired of what I was going through. And it wasn't that I was healed good enough to get me by or to get me through, because I knew I could get by or get through for just a little while. And I kept thinking, now if I really teach myself and I really concentrate on this, I can get by and never have this problem again. And again, I just didn't know where that gate was that was breaking me down every single time. Okay, now what? Not only I wasn't cured, I knew I wasn't cured, but also I didn't know where the gate was and what the gateway was that kept throwing me down the path. Getting me to the barber shop to get the haircut that I didn't really need, didn't really want, but I thought I had to have it if I got there. So I'm moving around, I'm shuffling, I'm doing a deal, going to meetings, you know, associating with people, doing pretty good. And people with years and years and years and years and years of recovery would hook me up with somebody that they're 13 stepping, all right, that's flat out and out just using, not slowing down, lying about it, and they knew it, but they were getting what they wanted. And if they used Pat just right, they'd get a place for that person to stay until Pat spirals on back out, because he will. And then the whole time we can tell him, see there, Pat, we told you your way wouldn't work. When are you going to listen and do it our way? You're just not paying attention. You're just not doing it the way I did it. You're just not doing it right. And I would think I'm just not doing it right. And I got more sponsors and more time and tried it again. Tried the AA way, the alcohol, because that was my first downfall. And it was hard. And it took me down numerous times over. Bam, 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 bam. Flop, flop, flop. There was no getting around it, man. If I went out, it was projectile vomiting, driving home with one eye if I got home, taking out a curb or two, a gutter, tire, transmissions, engines, um, fences, telephone poles, cars end over end, in through woods, you know, uh, with questionable things in the car. You know, sometimes I get them out, sometimes just couldn't prove it was mine. Sometimes I guess they didn't really care. Sometimes they probably just felt sad, you know, sad for this idiot. Just didn't learn, you know. Some of them might have been on the other end of the deal. Going, hey, now we know somebody. If we need to use somebody, here they are. We know who we need. So now I don't do that, you know. I don't play that game. Don't allow those people in my house that I know. Doesn't matter who you are and who introduces me to them. I know what's good and I know what's bad. I can no longer say I didn't see it, because from here on out I have to see everything. If I'm going to recover, I have to pay attention to everything going on. I have to be present for the present for the entire time. You know, it feels really funny not having my dog here tonight. As you can see, I'm rocking the phone a lot, but I'm not rocking in the wheelchair too bad, and my leg is not thumping too bad. I'm not paranoid, not even the slightest. I'm going to continue to record. I'm going to continue to put shit out there on the internet. I'm going to continue to watch and be under guise that somebody's wanting to get in on me, because I know they do. That's the way evil is. Evil wants to tear up good people. Evil does not want me to succeed, all right? Some of that evil is you. I'm not an idiot. You know who you are. Just because we laughed and we joked on several different occasions about me going, yeah, you thought I was out to get you. You thought I was this and you thought I was that. And yeah, we'd laugh about it, and I say, yeah, I know better now. Yeah, I don't think about it anymore. I know. I don't, I don't, I don't think you are those things. Today, I just don't feel the need to try to prove that to somebody else, because it's none of their business. All right, I don't have to prove to anybody else that nobody tried to break in my house today, because they didn't. All right, just like tomorrow, if they were to break in my house, I wouldn't have to prove to anybody else that somebody tried to break into my house, because I would know. Chances are, the way I've got things set up, I'd know exactly who it is, and I'd know exactly what time, and I'd know exactly what was messed with, no matter what you do to stop it, because I have it set up in such a way that that's just the way it works. Unless you steal the entire security system. And that's about 3 different systems. But if you stole the entire bunches of security systems, you could keep yourself from being identified. But I surely would not have to prove to someone else that somebody got in my house if all 3 security systems are not tore up. They're gone. Tear them up, I can still get it. So that's a conundrum. You remember the movie? The guy says, we got us a conundrum here. Well, it was Walking Dead with Daryl. We got us a conundrum. He said, you said, they said, blah, 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 blah. That's the way you told me to do it, Pat. Yeah, I'm building boxes, and they look like a smiley face. It looks like a goat chewed up the corner on it, and I'm just kind of questioning what happened with it. And I noticed another one just like it. And then I hear, "That's the way you told me to do it." And I laugh. And then you get mad. You stomp your feet. And generally in the past, I would get mad too, and I would yell and I would scream and I'd say, "You stupid idiot," and I would berate you. And I'd run you down, chase you and stomp you. Not physically, but verbally. And I'd treat you bad and nasty, and I would tell everybody else about it. You. And then everybody would hate me because I was a mean and nasty man. But it was because I followed the way things were laid out for me. You know, I thought I needed to stay on that track that was laid out for me to live my life a certain way. Then I realized I didn't have to live my life that way. I can live my life happy. I don't have to let something bother me enough to be mean. If it bothers me that much, I need to step away from it. I need to spin off and go somewhere else. I need to change what's going on. When I would first got on oxygen, when my oxygen line would become disconnected and I would realize it, I would start freaking out. I'd start yelling and screaming and just, oh, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I don't have any oxygen coming in. And I was really having a real time with it. And I was so scared, and I would yell and I'd scream at people, and I would make their life living hell, and they'd make my life living hell to boot, to go along with it. And it was a never-ending story of getting worse and worse and worse, and I got worse and worse and worse, and meaner and meaner and meaner. And I drove crazier and crazier and crazier, and faster and faster and faster. I occupied my time driving everybody anywhere they wanted to go for gas money, just to stay busy, just to stay busy and to make it look like I was being useful to people. So I wouldn't have to take care of my own things, so I wouldn't have to think about my own problems, so I wouldn't have to do my own stuff, and I did that for quite some time until I stopped. Started realizing that all the stuff I was doing for everybody was allowing them not to do stuff they needed to do for themselves. Just like I wasn't doing my stuff for myself because I was doing stuff for you. And I stopped. And of course, me being the asshole I was at the time, the mean, angry, aggressive old man, trying to tell you why my way was better and your way was wrong, and angry for the few things a few people were doing to me and not knowing where it was coming from, so pointing it and taking it out on everybody. I just was getting worse and worse and worse and dying all the time. And nobody cared, You could get a sunburn and people would fill up a GoFundMe account for it to help you get better. I could be dying of pulmonary embolism. My dog would be taken from me, the only one I had left, because the other dogs just vanished. Of course, I thought I was dying. Everybody else did too. But the $1,000 tech vet bill that I had cousins and a few other people pitched straight in to help me out. I had somebody set it up, a GoFundMe. Literally did not get a dime on the GoFundMe account thing whatsoever. And I was watching people get $10,000 pulling scams that really didn't need anything. But they smiled when they talked and they twinkled when they said things And they tell a good story. I don't tell a good story, I tell the truth. I don't try to get along with everybody, but I treat everybody the same way. But I also treat people with different levels of compassion as well. You know, I hold the same respect for every single person on this planet, and I believe I hold the same respect for every single thing on this planet. It's all here for a reason. All right, and that reason is not just here to irritate me. It's here to do some good. Um, Even the bad. It's here to do some good, and I'm fixing to have to throw up. So I'll leave you with this one thought. Do you know or do you know of? And I hope today you're trying to know more of than knowing. And you be nice to yourself, be nice to somebody else. Smile, don't F with paranoid people because it ain't nice. It's 9:30 and I'm gonna go to bed. Go to my appointment tomorrow. I think I've streamed enough for you today. I've definitely talked long enough. And I hope you got something out of it because I'm here to help other people that are disabled. And I think I've got ways of doing that. You don't have to suffer just because somebody else doesn't understand what you need. See ya.